I don't know what comes next, but I couldn't care less. I refuse to feel stress. There's no fear in my chest. Hear the boom of my steps. Walk away from the pain I've been through. This feeling I'm feeling is brand new. This is the moment I break through.
Hey, welcome to the very first episode of Inside EPW. I'm Gene Jackson, and each episode we're going to be taking you inside the promotion of EPW Wrestling. We'll bring you interviews, news, results, discussion, all things related to EPW. You can catch it right here each and every episode. And one of the things I'm going to be doing is communicating with different correspondents that are at EPW shows. They're there, they're watching, they're interviewing folks. And our top correspondent is none other than Roman McPeak. And I just had a conversation with Roman, and I want to air that right now. Let's go right now to my conversation with Roman McPeak and find out what he's going to be bringing to the table right here as a correspondent of Inside EPW. Hey, we're back here on Inside EPW, and I'm happy to welcome right now one of our correspondents here on the show that you're going to be seeing and hearing a lot of in the near future. Everybody, I want you to meet Mr. Roman McPeak. Roman, how you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good. Thank you for having me on here, being a part of this. I'm real excited about it.
Yeah, man, like you were one of the top independent wrestling content creators out there. I mean, I know you don't just do independents, but you've branched out. We were talking before we started recording. You've kind of branched out into that, and I really enjoy your content, and you're starting to get quite a reach, man. You've got a lot of followers on social media, on YouTube. So I don't know, man. Tell us a little bit about about your fandom. Like, where does you being a fan of professional wrestling originally start? What's your earliest memory?
Oh man, my earliest memory is probably I was born in '93, so one of the earliest things I remember, I want to say it was like maybe WrestleMania 13 like ad on TV. Right. Or maybe it was 13 or 14, but it was like Stone Cold and Bret Hart and like The Undertaker and all them. And it was like fire and brimstone and stuff. And I was looking at it. I was thinking that was just so cool. And then I like started watching it. Like my dad and everybody was watching it. And I started loving Stone Cold. And like he was my favorite. And then I just like kind of kept following it through high school. Like Stone Cold, Eddie Guerrero, Jeff Hardy, the Hardy Boys. A lot of them were ones that like I really like stuck to and I really liked. And I kind of got out of it. As I got older, like out of high school, and I kind of came back to it, and then it led me to like start making content about it and talking about it.
Man, that's a good point to jump on. I mean, there's a lot of people who will tell you that their favorite match in history is Bret Hart and Steve Austin at WrestleMania 13, and of course, that match got one of the first wrestling match to get put into the Hall of Fame. So. Yeah, that's a good one to jump in on. Double turn, rarely in wrestling have people been able to pull off double turns like that, but that was done to perfection. And so, that's cool. So what in more recent times inspired you to be like, I like this stuff, but I want to make content about it. I want to get on the internet. I want to talk about it. What got you going on that?
Kind of that post-COVID like boom and social media. Everybody's wanting to be a content creator. I kind of stepped away from like not really watching wrestling regularly got back into it, like the Bloodline story with Roman Reigns and all them kind of drew me back in. And then, like my wife and sister-in-law and all them were like, you need to look on TikTok. Like I saw people talking about wrestling on TikTok, and I was like, I'm not downloading that. Like I'm never gonna use this. And I finally get on there, and then I'm seeing people, and then I'm just like, these are just regular people, just like me, just fans. I was like, I'll just start making videos. So started just talking about Raw or SmackDown, and then branched into doing like little skits and things I thought were funny, all the way to now where I'm pursuing interviews and I'm watching EPW and reacting to that. And, I'm trying to, have a dialogue with other people about independent wrestling and talking to all these different wrestlers, trying to set up interviews and just getting to know them, getting their name out there as much as I can.
Yeah, man, I've enjoyed the interviews of yours that I've watched, because you're not one of these guys that are like trying to come off like you're the be all end all. I know everything about wrestling. You're just like, hey, here's a conversation with me and this guy right here. One of the people I spoke to at EPW planning out this new show had said specifically that like Roman's interview with Isiah Cohn's my favorite interview I've seen with Isiah anywhere so far. And I was like, that's cool. I'm like, we're gonna run that on the show, and I'll make sure and tell Roman that. So what you're doing's working, man.
That's something that I've enjoyed with that. Like with Isiah, like I had seen, him on EPW, and he popped up on Instagram. I followed him, and shortly after, like I guess he saw some of my videos, seeing that I was reacting and stuff, and he followed me, and we've been actively, liking and supporting like each other's posts and stuff. And then I finally was like, oh, I was coming to a show. So I was like, I know I'm going to come to a show soon. I was like, I'll just shoot him a message. Hey, you got a little time before or after the show? Let's run a quick interview. I'll just ask you a few questions, nothing crazy. I was like, just a little quick interview. And he was more than happy. He's more than happy to do it. And that's the one thing that has honestly been great. I've had people ask me, like, how do you get some of these guys to talk to you, do interviews, and what are they really like? Do they really want to do it? And pretty much everybody I've talked to at EPW, more than happy to do it. They were like, yeah, let's do it. So Isiah was great. I talked to him, off camera too. He was a really nice guy. And, pretty much all of them I've talked to have been really great.
Yeah, man, they got it. EPW is one of the best locker rooms I've ever been a part of. Everybody's real supportive of each other, really cool. They're all just trying to learn and get better. And so opportunities like talking to guys, like you and like me, and one of the reasons I'm creating this show is, when you've got television, there's only so much time in each episode, and the promo can only be so long, and we can only tell so much of this story. And so guys, you may get ring time, you may get opportunities to go to this show over here and that show over there on a Friday night and different things. But there's not a lot of opportunities these days to get a chance to talk, both to get comfortable talking, to tell your story, and develop that aspect of your game. So most of those guys are more than happy. And, somebody comes up and says, hey, do you want to talk? Yeah, let's do it. And so, again, man, I think you're providing a great service, just giving these guys a chance to get a camera in front of their face and hear fans, learn a little bit more about, who they are. Like Isiah, like, it's been cool to watch. So, I've seen him, Isiah Cohn, he pops up. He's, you see he's really talented in the ring, but he's just Isiah Cohn. And then here recently, a few weeks back, he starts developing this kickflip persona, and he adds that to it. And it's been fun to watch him add elements as the weeks go on. And he gets more comfortable, and he gets more of a personality involved besides just the wrestling. So, I was really impressed with that interview. He's somebody I want to get on this show soon and kind of talk to at length. But, man, like, I feel like right now there's such a great cast of characters in EPW. Who are some of the ones that kind of stand out to you that you've seen that you think, all right, I want to see where this is going with this person?
Number one will probably be probably Marco Harris. Part of that is because he was the first person I interviewed with EPW. He's from Jackson, Tennessee, which is like 20 minutes from me. So like I like immediately connected with him. I had seen him previously at other places, but I didn't really know him. I was like, and then I seen it kind of brings me to the first EPW show I went to, Crossroads Clash last year, and I was like, oh well, he's gonna be like basically the main event, and he's trying to get his title back, and so I reached out for an interview with him, and that went really well. I'm excited to see where he's going because it seems like he's reached the top a few times, and then now I kind of like what's going on with Grayson Pierce. I like Grayson Pierce too. I like kind of seeing him evolve a little over time. I think I like seeing, of course, with Aaron Roberts. Everybody, he's kind of the bad guy, and now he's kind of the good guy. And then somebody who I hate to admit that like they're intriguing, but like Eli Knox intrigues me.
Yeah,
because like he's gotten really good, really quick. It feels like, and he's like really involved in like the order. Like the order is interesting, even though I hate to admit it. They're interesting to see what they're going to do. I mean, I know they're going to lie, cheat, and steal, but they basically run things. So those are some of the people that definitely like I'm interested in seeing like what's next for them.
Yeah, I mean, Marco has been pretty amazing to watch develop in EPW, seeing how the crowds have taken to him, and starting to go to the events, doing commentary, and like I went to the show at Mantachi School, and like he came out, and I don't think John Cena could have came out and got a bigger reaction from that crowd. I mean, everybody just lost their mind. Marco come out wearing a Mantachi Mustangs football jersey, and everybody just lost their mind. And him and I mean, you can name whatever promotion in the country you want. I don't think you can find better matches than Marco and Grayson Pierce have been having here in EPW. And then you throw this new wrinkle in where K-Swiss has now forced them to tag team. And that's, that first match we've seen of it on this past episode 225 that just aired. I don't know, by the time this airs, 226 will probably have just been released, but we haven't seen it yet. So, but on 225, when they were forced to tag team, I mean, how fun is that? I mean, they're an amazing team, but you got all that frick shit in there, and I'm really looking forward to watching this play out.
Yeah, it was interesting because like I was at that show, and it's funny because it's like I still like watch the show and like do my clips and reactions to it, even the ones I'm at, because I mean I only see what's happening right in front of me. I don't see like the backstage stuff, and I don't see all the angles of the match. So like there may be something I miss, and so like I was sitting there, waiting on okay, what's the next match, and then all of a sudden these guys come full speed out, beating the crap out of each other, and I'm just like, what the hell is going on? They're just beating the crap out of each other. And I'm just like, dang, and they were like really getting it too. And then finally, Swiss comes out and he's like, listen, y'all gonna tag, and that tag match was fun because the whole time, they're fighting each other as much as they're fighting the other guys.
Exactly.
So, yeah, it was a fun match.
I'll tell you another guy I've really enjoyed watching him, and I'd seen him have a couple of matches, but he had a match with Grayson that really was just, I mean, tore the house down, and that's Shawn Aries, which is another guy you had a chance to talk to recently. But man, he has been, each and every time he has stepped into the ring in the last, 3 or 4 months, I feel like he steps his game up each and every time, and he's going to be somebody to watch.
Yeah, he's definitely, when I had talked to him, I was like, I'll be honest, man, like I didn't know who you were a few months ago. But that's how quickly it's like, oh wow, like anybody can show up and make a name for themselves and keep gaining and gaining. And he's exciting to watch. Really, really super nice guy to talk to. Every time I've seen, it's crazy. I've seen him at like 3 or 4 shows now in different places, and then every time I see him, he's like, "Oh, hey, sir, how's it going?" And I'm just like, "You don't have to serve me. Like,
Yeah.
I'm only a couple years older than you." Like
Yeah.
he's so nice and courteous and like just great guy. So yeah, I enjoy watching him in the ring. Seems like a good dude outside too.
Oh yeah, super humble, super respectful. I always enjoy talking with him in the locker room before and after the show, and I always tell him like, looking forward to see what you're gonna do out there tonight because there's no telling, you
Yeah.
know. Like I said, him and Grayson had a match that was just, you know, unbelievable. But up and down the card, you know, you've got guys like Chuck Swann. You know, you interviewed him, and he's always fun to watch. He's had this a little bit of a thing going on with Elijah Owens, who has this streak
Yeah.
of
He has
falling
this.
into victory.
Yeah. I was like, I was trying to put into words like what it is. It's just like the luckiest streak. I mean, I don't know, like literally falling into wins. Like he's just like he don't even know he's won until he comes back to, and he's like, "Oh, I won." It's like, yeah, you won again, dude. You won.
Yeah, man, that's
Yeah.
fun watching him and seeing how that's developing. And you know, the women's division, I think that EPW has one of the best, strongest women divisions of any promotion out there. There's a lot of solid matches going on there. What did you think about when you know, we talked about Eli Knox, and he's been a great Apex
Yeah.
champion. He's very entertaining. What did you think about when Diana Taylor stepped up to him and challenged him for the title? That was a fun
Oh,
match.
I mean, yeah, it was a really fun match. I was as confused as the order. I was like, okay, what's she coming out? Because I mean, I didn't know. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
And she's saying, well, it's actually intergender title, and I'm like, oh, okay. I was like, maybe we're about to get a match, you know, next week or something. And it's like, oh wait, no, we get a match right now. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, let's go. And then you know they put on a good show. DDT, great performer. Watched her in Memphis and EPW and stuff, and I always a good match. Always a good promo when she comes out and talks and everything. They put on a good match, and you know, of course, and then the funny thing is that they mocked her like, oh, it's a girl. They're laughing. I was like, well, guess what? It took 4 other guys to help him beat her. So like, it took the whole order basically to beat her. And so like, really, you know, hopefully there's a rematch or there's something happening. I don't know, because I just know what happens in the show. You know,
Right.
that's what when I talk about it. Like I have clips. Like I'll know some of what's going to happen on the next episode, but not everything. You know, just because I was there. But like shows I'm not there, I have no idea what's happening. So
Well, I won't
Yeah.
spoil it, but this next set of tapings, Eli came out, threw down a challenge, and there's something fun that comes out of that. That
I hope
on announcing, we had a lot of fun with, and it was just wait till everybody sees it. Like I say, I won't do any spoilers on this show, but it's
yeah,
a good
don't
one.
spoil it for me. Yeah.
So you follow Memphis, you follow EPW. What did you think about Hollywood Jimmy coming out from behind the announce table and getting into managing here in EPW? Because he's managed in Mississippi for ever in 3 days, and you know it was kind of odd for so long to see him kind of play the. I mean, he would make cracks at people and he would defend the heels.
Yeah.
Here and there, but still, it wasn't the Jimmy we're used to seeing. It wasn't the Jimmy you saw in Memphis. How did you feel as a viewer and a fan about Jimmy getting back into managing?
Well, when I seen him leave the commentary desk, I thought, oh, somebody dropped a Twinkie somewhere. But no, like it was a bit shocking because I was like, okay, because like his role has been kind of defined, you know. When he's at Memphis, you know, he's got his manager role. When he's in EPW, he's just commentating. Because as far as I've known, I started watching around Crossroads Clash last year, EPW. Right. He was, you know, behind the desk. He wasn't managing. So as far as I know in EPW, that's all he's done, you know, really. And so seeing him come out and align with the order and basically lining up all the titles for them, you know, it. As much as I hate to give him any credit, but like he knows what he's doing.
He picked his spot, didn't he? I mean, he goes from commentator to managing every champion except the women's champion in one night.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, so I
He,
mean, if he sees this, he'll, because I had a little back and forth with him on Facebook the other day. I always try to give him a little hell anytime I see him post something.
well,
But yeah,
he'll always bite. You throw something out there, he'll bite once he sees it.
especially yeah, Snickers, Twinkies, things like that.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Yeah. So the we talked about the Apex champion. The Izzy Rotten and Ethan Ross won the tag team titles. Which Ethan was mainly managing before Jimmy came back. So like Ethan went from basically managing to suddenly he's a tag team champion, and they've managed to hold on to the belts against some pretty impressive teams so far. So it seems like they're, a lot of people said at first, well, that's a fluke. Jimmy interfered, but they won't be able to keep them. But so far they've turned away some pretty big challengers. So we'll see. What's your take on the EPW champion, the head of state, Dorian Vane?
Oh man, where do I begin with this guy? I will. Okay, so I will. I'll give him a bit of his flowers. Okay, the first time I've seen him to the latest episode that I've seen of him, he's only gotten better. He's grew more comfortable in his whole head of state. He did a promo a while back. I'm trying to think of when it was, maybe November-ish, when he was talking about, the orders taking over, and, that's, I was just like, whoa, like there, I was like, there it is. Like, that's it. I was like, if you said, what was, give me something for Dorian Vane, you put that promo up. That shows who he is right there. Because he impressed me. Even with the heels, the bad guys, I give them their due, man. When they're good, they're good. And for that promo, he was good. And every match I've seen him, he's done. Seems like he's gotten better. And I mean, somebody's got to challenge. Somebody's got to dethrone him eventually.
He has a presence about him.
Yeah.
He's still, he's still getting there as far as in the ring and things. He's not overly experienced, but he's always had a look and he's had a presence, and now he's growing into that. I know exactly what promo you're talking about. After the show that night, I went straight up to him in the locker room, shook his hand. I said, dude, you leveled up on that promo tonight, man. I was like, you keep that going. I said, you stepped up to a whole nother level with that promo. It was freaking amazing.
Yeah. If there was a promo of the year or whatever, like that probably be it. Because I mean,
absolutely, that
was the one where he was saying, I'm on icon level. I'm on the level of all these greats and stuff. And like, I was like, dang, I kind of believe him. I believe him right now. Like,
and kind of dipped into his real history of things he's done in life as well. That was like, I didn't know that about him until this very moment. I'm looking forward. So Adam Roberts, the crowd has taken to him so well. Like when I first realized what was happening and I seen that Aaron Roberts is becoming a babyface, I was like,
yeah,
I don't know, man. I don't know, but man, the crowd has jumped in right behind him, and they want to see that match. They want to see him challenge Dorian Vane. He challenged for the NWA title against Silas, the Thrill Billy, Silas Mason, and that was a hell of a match. I won't talk about what happened because it hadn't aired yet, but it certainly was a big time match. It was cool to get to call an NWA World Title match there. Carmen Michael joined us, and he's a heck of an announcer. So I'm looking forward to that airing. But whenever that match happens, whenever Aaron Roberts and Dorian Vane step in the ring, that's going to be a big one. I'm looking forward to that. Now, before we move on, another big time tag team feud that has gone on for quite some time, and it probably was really getting ready to kick off right about the time that you started going to shows. And that, of course, is the Initiative against Parental Advisory. And, I did not see things going the way they have. The Initiative had manipulated Dakota Gage and Hunter Dabbs to the point that they've they've nearly been split apart. They're at each other's throats. So we don't know how much longer Parental Advisory will go on. What do you think about that feud? What you've seen of it and those two teams?
Parental Advisory is one of those that they're interesting, kind of young guys, kind of a little bit of high flying. They were interesting to me, and then the initiative. I didn't know what to think of them when I first saw them. I was just like, oh, it's like I really don't know about these guys. Like I just don't know about them. And then watching them, and it's like okay, like like I'm seeing it more in ring. And then over time, like I'm seeing like the whole like everything about them. Like okay, like I get like they kind of got. It's like they got that like veteran presence, like they know what they're doing, they know what needs to be done, they know what to say, when and where. And watching them kind of feud with Parental Advisory is kind of that classic, like the veterans versus like the newer guys, trying to show them the way. But in the end, is the initiative really wanting to better Parental Advisory, or are they just wanting to take advantage of them and step on them on their way back to possibly tag team champs?
Yeah, I literally they played their hand in the course of this feud and let it be known that, and most longtime fans knew that Tony Dabbs was their dad, but they didn't play it up at first. But me and Tony got into the business together back in like 1997. I've known him forever, and so I have literally known Parental Advisory since they were babies and carriers at wrestling shows back in the day. I've literally watched them grow up their entire life, much like I did Chris Styles. And so it's just wild to me. It makes me feel old every time I see them coming through the curtain. I'm like, God, look at these guys. Like, here they are. They're out here. They're tag team champs. And I still think of them as kids. But, man, those guys can go. And, they've grown a lot during this feud with the initiative. I think the purpose has been served. I don't know if the initiative served themselves well, because when the feud started, Parental Advisory were tag champs, and now they're not the tag champs, but neither is the initiative. The Order have the tag belts, and the initiative's still fighting Parental Advisory. So something might have went sideways for them along the way, but it's certainly been entertaining to watch, and I'm looking forward to seeing it play out. There will be a lot coming up in the next few weeks on TV with that story as well. So stick around for that for sure. But you got any shows lined up? You got anybody in mind that you're going to be looking to talk to coming up soon?
Right now, the next show I'm planning on coming to is probably going to be the 21st, the one when ODB is going to be there. I think that's the next one I have planned to come to. I was wanting to come to the one on the 7th, but I already have plans that weekend that I can't get out of. So that the 21st will be the next one. I'm pretty much 100% going to that one. As far as talking to people, I always want to talk to whoever's headlining or whatever. But as far as people I hadn't really talked to, I'd like to talk to more of the women there, because it seems like every time I go, all the dudes kind of like, hey, man, let's do a video and stuff. And it's like, I don't want to pester the women, and it's just like a lot of them, more of the guys are going to like hang around the merch tables and like hang around, talk to the fans. A lot of the women, I don't, for whatever reason, they don't really come out as much. Like I had something set up with Maddie, the American Baddie, but we just like didn't have the time to like make it happen because I ran out of time. Because at the beginning of the show, I was doing interview with the Country Gentleman, and then Silas Mason walks up and he's like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "I'm doing a little interview with him." And he's like, "You want to interview me?" And I said, "Yeah."
No, champ, I do not.
I was like, "No, you're not the NWA World Heavyweight Champion. No, I'm good." I was like, "Yeah, get over here." Sure, yeah. So we did that, and then I did like Isiah right after that, and then I was like messaging, like I had messaged like Maddie, and I was just like, "I'm so sorry, I ran out of time. Like I don't know." And she was like, "Well, maybe at intermission." I talked to her intermission, and then she was like, "Oh, well, we only have like 5-10 minutes, and there's nowhere to really do it." And I was just like, "Listen, next show, that I come to, I was like, you be the first one. Like, I'll make sure that it's definitely happening. Like, if you still want to, there's time, whatever. So let's try to set that up. And there's a few others. Like, I had talked to Makari Candy. I was supposed to interview her in Memphis, and then just like ran out of time and wasn't able to catch her on the way out. I know she's been at EPW a lot as well. Let's see. DDT, she's somebody that I'd like to, just because I've seen a lot of her. She's been champion like everywhere, it seems. So yeah, a lot more of the women's locker room, because I focus so much on the men's locker room, and I want to make sure I'm getting all sides of the division, every division.
Well, I can help you out with that. I will definitely help you get some of that lined up and make time. And space is the man at the locker room is so.
That was the only
packed.
Thing too. Yeah.
You pretty much have to do it before or after the show, because there's nowhere to do it during the show that isn't loud.
Yeah, that's what I was like setting up. I was talking with Maddie. I was just like, there's nowhere I can set up that's not going to be right in everybody's way. I was like, she said something about, she's like, well, maybe, the locker room or something like that. And then, I was like, well, I don't know, like if we could do that. And she asked, and Neil was like, well, no, like, locker room don't need to come in here. And I was like, yeah, like, I didn't think we could. I was like, but she like mentioned it, and I was like, yeah, like, I was like, it's fine. Like, we'll make it work next. Like, I'm planning on coming to as many shows as I can. So we'll make it work for the next show somehow. So,
oh yeah.
A lot of it's just like, I'll just have to get there. I didn't get there as early as I wanted to. And then, tried to get there in a little early, and, y'all are busy, and I'm just like, oh, I hate feeling like I'm like, oh, can y'all let me in so I can do this? Like, and so
I'll get you my phone number where we can text in these situations, and we'll get this done, because it'll be mutually beneficial for everybody. So I can sell it that way to whoever has a question about it. So good, man. All right. Well, that's what I wanted to do, is kind of get on here and kind of touch base with you, let everybody know who you are. And so if folks want to see some of your content, your handle on most everything is at Roman McPeak. Is it different on any?
The only thing different is Instagram. It's at Roman McPeak 1. It won't let me just do at Roman McPeak on Instagram. It says it's already taken. I've searched it. It's not taken.
Yeah.
It won't let me do it. So that's the only one that's different. It's at Roman McPeak everywhere, basically. YouTube, TikTok, Instagram would be at Roman McPeak 1. X, which I'm not like super active on X, but like I might throw a thought on there here and there, Facebook, you can search up Roman McPeak. The one you'll want to find the one that's, the one where I'm talking about wrestling, not my personal one. You send me a request or something on there, I'm probably not going to accept it. But
I know that game, buddy. I sure do. Check out, because there's different content on there's things that is on his Facebook that's not on YouTube, and vice versa. And there's a lot of good clips of the recent episode of EPW there on Facebook. So check those out. I was trying to snag a couple of those to put on the show, and there wasn't any way for me to download them. So I may see if I can get you to send me a couple of those so I can actually play.
I might send it to you, or I'm sure there's some setting in there that I can turn on.
It's cool. I'm sure I can get you to email me one or something. Yeah. We'll plug them into the show just to give people a taste of it, so they can come see more over on your Facebook, your YouTube, TikTok. Go check out all of them. He's got some really there's informative stuff, there's fun stuff, like you say, there's skits, there's interviews, there's a little bit of everything, and that's one of the things I like. I like variety. If you're a wrestling fan, you like variety. You know what I mean? Like, so that's why I dig your content. That's why I'm glad to have you on board here on Inside EPW. Yeah. So Roman, we'll talk to you again real soon, man, and we'll keep cranking these out and talking about EPW right here on Inside EPW. We'll be back in just a moment.
Always wanted to be in the professional wrestling business? The EPW Wrestling Academy is now enrolling. Visit EPWWrestlingMS.com for all the details on how to make your dreams a reality. Do you have what it takes?
All right, there you heard my discussion with Roman. I'm excited to have him on board. And you heard us mention that he's been getting some great interviews with some of the stars of EPW. Right now, let's hear his recent conversation with Kickflip Isiah Cone.
Roman here at EPW Wrestling in Mississippi. I'm here with the Kickflip Isiah Cone. And I got to know, it's 2026. Any New Year's resolutions, or do you believe in that?
I'm wrestling anywhere I can. I'm going anywhere. I'm going everywhere. I'm just going to show up. I'm going to kick people's heads off.
Simple, easy, straight to the point. I mean, that's what we like about it. So, Isiah, I kind of discovered you earlier this year, started watching EPW Wrestling. How long have you been wrestling?
I've been wrestling a little bit over 3 years now. I was trained by Tom Pritchard like summer of 2022. Got trained by him, and then he sent me on my way. I've just been figuring it out since then.
So you've been in for a couple years now. How much of Kickflip is really you that we see on TV and see in the ring?
It's me. I got my first skateboard when I was like 6 years old. I'd like lay on my back and roll down the hill on it, you know what I mean? Because I couldn't stand on it. I got my first skateboard when I was 6, and then when I was like 12, I started skating a bunch. It became my whole teenage life. That's all I did. And a couple months ago, I kind of reconnected with that past part of myself and brought a lot more of who Isiah Cone is to wrestling.
Yeah, it makes sense. It seems like it's always better when who you are out there is who you are, like kind of like who you really are, sort of. Like it seems like it works a lot better. So you've been a skater when you was a kid. You kind of reconnected. Did you ever play any like the skating like video games or anything?
Skate 3, one of the best games ever. Skate 3 over Tony Hawk any day.
I was more Tony Hawk, like Underground, but like I guess I grew out of it. After Tony Hawk, I just kind of grew out of it a little bit. But how have you felt about your development? Because I've seen you in EPW. I've seen you in a couple other promotions, maybe from last year to now starting this year. Is there things that you feel that you're doing really well? Maybe some things that you'd like to do better?
For a while, like you try to figure out who you are as a wrestler, right? And you think you know yourself your entire life. But I feel like these past few months, I've really started to figure it out a little bit more, come into my own, figure out who I am, and, you know, being myself a little bit more of the confidence coming with it. I can do moves all day, but if I'm not confident, then I'm not confident, but I'm really starting to feel that confidence now.
Well, you heard it from a confident Isiah Cone. Make sure you're following him on social media. Make sure you're following me. And you heard it here.
Saturday, February 7th. EPW Wrestling presents the NWA star, Big Strong Mims. Tickets are moving fast. Get yours now at EPWWrestlingMS.com.
All right, there you've seen Big Strong Mims from the National Wrestling Alliance returning to EPW coming up on February 7th. What an impression he made at the last set of TV tapings. Can't wait to see what's in store this time around. I tell you what, let's take a look at a couple of more of these interviews that Roman has done. Let's hear him talking to the Ember, Shawn Aries.
Howdy, Roman McPeak here at EPW Wrestling in Mississippi. I'm with the Ember, Shawn Aries. Shawn, how are you doing tonight?
I'm good, sir. I'm good. Tonight was a good night, so I feel great.
First show of the year, 2026. New Year's resolutions. Is that a thing for you?
New Year's resolution. I would say, yeah, you got to bring in the holidays right, you know. So tonight was a night to kick off the New Year's, APW. So, just tagging up with somebody that I never tagged up with before, and it seemed to work out. And, I hope to see them back. So, I enjoyed it.
So I'll be honest, I watch EPW, I watch Memphis Wrestling, a lot of stuff.
Yes, sir.
I just started seeing you kind of fairly recently. So how long have you been wrestling?
So if right now is 6 months, I believe, coming back into the business. I'm 24 currently. I started when I was 15 training, stopped when I was 18. took a little hiatus and coming back since last year, July. So
you took a hiatus, you came back, and I'll be honest, I mean, you would think you've been wrestling for a while, just watching some of your matches. Very natural in the ring from like what I've seen, very athletic. Is there anything you feel like you can improve on?
It's always room for improvement. I never want to stop improving. I never want to think that I'm better than anyone just because, you know, you may come in with something natural. You know, I always want to keep improving, learning from other people. And, as far as that, man, you know, like improving, I want to always improve on whether it's in the ring, on the mic, whether it's connecting with the fans. You know, there's many ways to improve yourself. So I'm always trying to look for ways to improve myself and bring my brand out there. So, yes, sir.
That's a good attitude to have. Would there be any advice that you'd give somebody kind of coming into the wrestling business and maybe they need a little advice, a little encouragement, maybe to get through some of that tough times when you first start out?
I would say the biggest thing I would say is try new things. Never be afraid to go in there and try new things. People may sit there and tell you, oh, they don't like it, but you don't know what you can connect with the fans with. So always go in there and try new things. Never be afraid to be who you are. And try to always connect with the fans. Like they're the ones that drive this, you know, juggernaut, you know, so it's like we always try to find ways. What can we find ways to connect with the fans? So biggest thing is just try new things, you know, always try to improve yourself. Like we, you know.
It's good advice. Well, you heard it from Shawn Aries himself. You heard it from me. Make sure you're following him on social media. If you're following me, you heard it here.
Get ready as EPW Wrestling returns on Saturday, March 7th to Union Center for Fury in the 5th 2. For more information, go online to epwwrestlingms.com.
Tell you what, one of the great long-running feuds here in EPW has been the Initiative, Jason Genesis and Trace Hunt, taking on Parental Advisory, Hunter Dabbs, and Dakota Gage. And man, those guys have been put through the ringer by the Initiative. And if you have not checked out episode 226 that just recently dropped, go check that episode out now and see the one-on-one grudge match that took place between Dakota Gage and Hunter Dabbs. Their father got involved. The Initiative got involved. It was a wild scene. But you know, this feud, like I said, it's been going for quite some time. And I wanted to right now, I want to go back to our first ever, this is going to be a weekly segment here on the show, our flashback segment where we go back in time and take a look at a match from the past. And right now, I want to go back and see one of those very early matches where Parental Advisory initially got under the skin of the Initiative. They stole their ring robes, came out dressed like them, and this is kind of where things went sideways between the Initiative and Parental Advisory. Let's watch that match right now. This is from December of 2024. That's how long this feud has been going. Let's go back now and take a look at that match. Parental Advisory against the Initiative.
Ladies and gentlemen, the opening contest on EPW is Tag Team Competition.
What? Look at this. This is ridiculous.
Introducing first, weighing in at a combined weight of 365 pounds, Hunter Dabbs, Dakota Gage. They are Parental Advisory.
Good. This is what they deserve. They had no business stealing their jackets. These little thieves, these little juvenile delinquents, they don't even need to be in EPW.
Well, he did look like Jason Genesis in his defense.
It did not look like them. It did not. It's not funny.
It is funny.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, this is what's funny. They're getting their butt kicked. That's what's funny.
Trace Hunt with a big shot over there.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you think about that now?
Dakota Gage is... Hunter Dabbs in trouble. Dakota Gage in trouble. Genesis working on Gage. And Trace done hit the railing over here.
That was the most disrespectful entrance I've ever seen in my entire life. That's ridiculous.
Oh, no,
And
my goodness.
These little punks. I can't believe Neil Taylor lets this go on here at EPW.
Trace he's holding that rib cage, man. But here comes, and he moved his partner out of the way. Smart move. Took the railing down with it.
Good.
The railing almost went, oh my goodness, Genesis picks him up and slams him on the outside of the ring apron. I'm going to tell you, man, they are.
You know what? This is what they deserve. They deserve a butt kicking. They don't go out here stealing people's things out in the dressing room. It's not funny.
Well, I'm going to tell you, Trace Hunt and Jason Genesis is very upset, and now they taking it to him. I'm going to tell you, too, but you got to give it to him. He kicks out.
Yeah, he's going to kick. You know what? He should have took the 3 count right there where he won't have to get beat like a stinking dog that he is.
And they pounding away on him. Hollywood don't miss her Christmas night tradition, Christmas carnage on Christmas night here at EPW Arena in Boonville. Tickets on sale now at EPW Wrestling. MS.com.
So you think it's okay for Parental Advisory to do something like this? Go around stealing stuff? You think it's okay for that? Tell me the truth.
Listen.
We got a lot of little young kids. This is not a good influence on the kids. You think it's okay to do that?
I thought it was funny, but anyway, here we go. He trying to roll Trace. Trace tags Genesis. Smart move. Down. Oh, he kicks.
There we go.
Jason Dutton
and
kicked Trace.
There you go. Just come on. Oh, no. Come on, guys. You got to get together.
I'm going to tell you what. Trace Hunt.
Look at Trace. Look at Trace over here. Watch Trace. Yes.
But see, that's a smart move.
I love it.
Yep.
I love it.
Downs was going to try to get a tag to Gage. And
super kick in the ring. Look at this.
And Trace caught him.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. He slammed him. My God, he almost broke him in half.
Oh, my goodness. How is he not broken half?
He's not getting up. No way.
You can't. Hey, the heart these kids have got, you want to call them whatever you want to call them. They got some heart.
I call them idiots and thieves.
You got to think the EPW Tag Team Champions, they mad, they're upset, and I'm going to tell you, they're looking very impressive in this match.
I don't see how he got up from that slam. That was a hard slam, I'm telling you, man. I don't see how he got up from it.
I don't see how he got up from it either.
I look at him right now. He's in pain. I don't even know if he's able to get up anymore.
I'm going to tell you, Trace is just taking it to him right here. Let's see what happens. Trace working it. Oh, what a clothesline.
Yeah, that's what Dabbs deserves right there.
Dakota Gage wanting in there to help want his partner to get a tag, but they're keeping him away from him. But, hey, they keeping him on the mat. That's the smart thing.
You know, how funny is it now? Let's see. How funny is it now? I think it's funny now. They're getting beat.
You always think it's funny.
Well, you thought it was funny when it came out.
It was funny.
It was not. It's disgraceful.
Dowd's fighting back again. You got to give it to the kid. Oh, grabs him by the hair of the head.
I didn't see that. He pulled him down.
No, he straight. Yeah, he did pull him down. You right.
With strength.
Strength. He said finish him.
Oh, he's going to finish him off. This is it.
Uh-oh.
Say goodbye.
Oh, and he blocks it. Big uppercut.
No way.
Dowds. Oh, and
what?
Oh, my goodness.
Oh,
no. He just flying cross body on his own partner over here. Dowds got out of the way, and he's got to get a tag. This is going to be the opportunity.
I can't believe it.
Can he get it? He got him. Dakota Gage coming in. Uh-oh, but they was waiting on him.
Yeah, that didn't last long.
Oh, they finna end it. Oh, no. Oh,
what's going on?
What is this?
The lights went out. What's happening? What?
Oh, my goodness. They called them when the lights come on. They got a shot to win it right here. Dab's going up.
I can't believe this.
Trace is down.
Oh, my
Box
God.
splash.
Oh, that was painful for Trace.
Oh, and Genesis come in and broke up the count. I'm going to tell you.
Oh, and Genesis just got threw out. Here comes Dakota Gage. Dabs, tags, heel. Trey still in the ring. Picks him up. Oh, no, this could be it.
Oh, no.
Oh,
oh my God. Oh, my God. He shoved him into the concrete floor from that top rope.
Oh, the initiator.
It's over.
It's over. They initiated the initiator.
This is it.
And that's it.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winners of the match, the Initiative.
Wow, what a match.
I'm going to tell you, impressive is what I call it, Hollywood.
And that's the reason they are champions. They took care of business here today on EPW Wrestling.
The Initiative is looking good, and I'm telling you, they are a well-oiled machine right here with the title.
Relive the glory days of Memphis wrestling with the Retro Wrestling Review USWA podcast. Each week, we go back in time to review USWA Championship Wrestling from the 1990s, episode by episode. Join us for watch-alongs, behind-the-scenes stories, and exclusive interviews with people who were there and lived it. Whether you grew up watching it or you're discovering it for the first time, this podcast is your ringside seat to Memphis wrestling history. It's all a part of the WrestleCopia Podcast Network. Listen now at USWApodcast.com.
All right, there you go. What a match that was. And you can see where all these bad feelings got started between the Initiative and Parental Advisory. And it's been going on for a long time, and things, I think, are coming to a head. Like I said, if you haven't yet, check out episode 226 of EPW and see how things went in the main event when Hunter Dabb took on Dakota Gage. Right now, let's go back to our correspondent, Roman McPeak, and let's hear his conversation with the sweet one, Chuck Swann.
Roman here down at EPW Wrestling in Mississippi with the sweet one, Chuck Swann. Chuck, 2026, New Year's resolutions. You have them?
Well, let me tell you something, baby. My New Year's resolution is to not only climb the ladder, but let me tell you, I'm about to get through some very hard times, baby. And I'm just so excited. I can't get over it. It's like the sugar is just burning through these veins, baby.
How long have you been wrestling?
Well, let me tell you like this. I've been wrestling a year going on 2 years, and that entire journey has been nothing but sweet. And matter of fact, the longer I go, the harder I try, the sweeter I get.
So speaking of like sweets and stuff, I mean, you got a particular sweet?
Brown sugar, cinnamon rolls, baby.
And, you know, you've wrestled a lot of opponents, but a lot of wrestlers in the ring wouldn't be nothing without the people officiating it.
Oh.
So,
for sure.
Who would you probably say the best official in the ring is that you've had the pleasure of sharing?
Well, you know, there's a lot of great referees, but I gotta say the sweetest one. And matter of fact, let me just put it like this. He has the sweetest, and I mean the sweetest, the most delicate, the most drippiest 3 count in the business. It's gotta be Patrick O'Malley, baby.
Okay, there you go. As far as somebody coming into the business, is there any advice you'd give them?
For new people coming in, it's a learning curve. I will say that. It is definitely a learning curve. Just keep trying. Just keep trying. Do your best. You know, one thing might not work out. It don't mean it's the end. You get up, dust yourself off, baby. Sprinkle some different brown sugar. Everybody's got their own sugar, and it's up to them to find it.
Well, you heard it from the sweet one, Chuck Swann. This is probably the sweetest interview I've done all year, and it's January. So make sure you are following him on social medias, following me, and you heard it here.
The moment
right, folks. Great conversation there with Roman and Chuck Swann. And like I said, each week we're going to be trying some different things, showing you some different things from EPW here, seeing what you like, seeing what you want to see more of, seeing what you want to see less of. But right now, to take this one home, I want to go to a conversation I had with the man himself, the promoter of EPW Wrestling, Neil Taylor. We're going to talk a little bit about all the great things that happened in EPW in 2025 and some pretty big things that are in store for 2026. And that's going to wrap it up for this week. And then we'll be back with episode 2 very soon. But right now, let's hear from Neil Taylor. Hey, we're back here on Inside EPW, and I am very happy to welcome to the show the man himself, the man behind the curtain, if you will, the promoter of EPW. It's Neil Taylor. Neil, how's it going, man?
Man, I'm good, Gene. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing well. Excited to get on here and talk a little bit of EPW wrestling. I know you spend a lot of time talking about that, but I know you don't shy away from it. You're not going to want to change the subject, are you?
It's my favorite subject. It's my life. EPW is my life. You see the poster. Oh, it's mirrored. Okay. In the background over there Crossroads Clash. My office is half of EPW. So it's my life. It's EPW.
It's funny how, things evolve. Like wrestling was a huge part of your life when you were out there on the road and actually in the ring, and I'm sure you thought it dominated your life then, but that was nothing compared, I'm sure, to how it dominates your life now when all of it is on you.
Yeah, it's funny. I say this every once in a while. I'm like, I quit working I quit wrestling to not be as busy as I had been, and I quit wrestling, start promoting, and I'm twice as busy as I was. So I don't know. I think the rib is on me here, to be honest with you.
I remember the phone call. Like I remember you told me, like, yeah, I'm gonna quit wrestling, and I'm tired of traveling every weekend and all that. I don't know. Like I'm gonna stay around. I'll do some things, but I'm not gonna wrestle anymore. And then one day you called me and go, well, guess what I just did? And I was like, what? You're like, I bought EPW. And I'm like, what does that mean? Like the promotion in Boonville? Like you're like, yeah. I'm like, you bought it? And you're like, yeah. I'm like, so you're gonna run a weekly show? Yeah. Why? You're like, I think I could do something with it.
Well, I'm not. I didn't buy it. I guess I more so took it over than I bought it. But I've definitely bought it at this point. But anyway, I'm so waist deep in on it. But no, just I was ready to step away from being in the ring, and my. I don't even know if you call it my regular job or not, because EPW is I'm busier with EPW than I am my regular job at Crossroads Arena. I promote and market there for all the events, concerts, and all kinds of other stuff, rodeos and monster trucks and all kinds of stuff. And I just really enjoyed it. And then it's like, okay, I should be able to merge these two worlds somehow. And why don't we promote wrestling? So that's what we did, and that's what we're doing. Some 8 years later, almost 8 years. It'll be 8 in October. That don't even seem real.
No.
226 episodes in, I think, is what we're currently at. Yeah, 226 recently aired.
226 dropped today.
Yeah,
as we're recording this will be in a couple of days. But yeah, man, that's crazy when you say that out loud. 8 years. But it's funny because, like, I remember, while you were still wrestling, you and a buddy were starting to promote some concerts. You started dabbling in other types of promotions, and then you end up, at the arena, and then you start promoting wrestling. It's like promoting is your life. Like you said, your quote-unquote real job is promoting the arena, promoting events at the arena, and then your other job is promoting, running a wrestling promotion that continues to just gets bigger and bigger. Like, after, Doug and Tommy come and did that show there recently, and Doug called me the next day, and he's like, man, I remember wrestling in Booneville in the past. And he said, it's pretty amazing what he's done. He's like, when we come out of that curtain, he said, you look around like, wow, that place has changed so much. And it really is. You can either, I was impressed when y'all first started TV how much it had changed since you first took over. But if you go back and watch that first episode of television and then watch episode, 226 that dropped this weekend, it looks like you're in a different venue. I mean, the way it's shot's different. Just, it has been a constant evolution of each passing year. Those 8 years, it's evolved and it's gotten better and better and bigger and better. And, this past year's Crossroads Clash was the biggest one yet. I mean, holy cow, that was, I just stood back in awe and thought, man.
Here we go.
That poster on the wall back there. I was standing up there at the very top up there at the rail looking down as I think it was when Dorian was wrestling Heath Slater. And I was just like, man, to think like this was the little side of the road show in Booneville that just ran every week and didn't aspire to be any more than just a weekly wrestling show, not a television show, not a traveling anything, just a weekly wrestling show where guys come down here and wrestle. And here you've got the APA reunion out here that night. You got Enzo Amore and Ricky Morton and Doug, and I was like, this is just amazing what EPW has evolved into, and I'm excited to be a part of it, dude.
Well, I mean, a lot of people give me credit for all of that, and I mean. It's nothing I could have done by myself. We have, and I say this all the time, and I sincerely mean this, we have an incredible crew, from everybody that even works concessions to our production folks to our broadcast team. Who would have thought we'd had a broadcast team like we have?
Yeah.
I mean, we've got as many broadcasters as some people have talent. I mean, just from everybody, and everybody has everybody has a role that they do, and they chip in and they do it the best they can. And, they make my job a lot easier. It's just, when you have a good team in place and you have a dressing room full of talent that we have, it makes it easy. It really does. The hard part is kind of navigating, all these, you have so many shows now that are, back in mine in your day, dating us a little bit, you would have every little mud hole in the wall show in the world you were competing with. Well, everything now, it seems like, you don't have as many of those mud shows anymore. Everything is a solid show. So you really, people say they don't compete. Well, that's just bull. Everybody's competing with everybody. We're all wrestlers. We're all, if you come from that vein, you feel like you're competing with other people to some degree, and you are. You're competing for an audience in a sense. I have always tried to look at it as, if you have a core 100 fans, that you and 3 other shows are trying to argue over. Well, rather than us just arguing over 100 people, why don't we argue over 500 people? Why don't we get more people in that circle and grow the circle? Yeah. But it's that's kind of the challenge now. So it's like we're constantly having to top ourselves, and sometimes that's a good thing, sometimes that's a bad thing. Just to be honest.
I will say to your point a moment ago, and I'm not just saying this because, we've been friends for nearly 30 years, which how old does that make us sound?
Oh my God.
Or that I'm involved as part of the broadcast team. But really and truly, and I've been in the locker rooms of a lot of shows over the years, both as a wrestler or a manager or just hanging out, whatever. And I've never really experienced the locker room as positive as what EPW has right now, man. And you need somebody back here to direct traffic because there's so many people in that enclosed area.
We have 3.
It's hard to get from one room to the other. But dude, you don't go back there and there's nobody in the corner mumbling and griping and complaining and dragging people down and I won't be here. There's none of that. Like, everybody from the wrestlers, like you said, to the people who are in the concession stand, who are helping, sell the tickets, and all the different people jump in. And when something needs done, if somebody's not there, somebody else jumps in and gets it done, from video production down to setting up chairs or whatever. And it really is, you hear a lot of places go, oh, we're like a family. And, it gets overused sometimes, but that really is the vibe you feel there at EPW. And when you have those pre-show meetings, everybody's excited to, get in there and hear the latest update of, hey, we added another television network, another system of television networks, and we're getting ready to go here, and we're getting ready to do this and that. And so, it's just, I don't know, man. It's always fun to go because a lot of times, like a lot of shows I would go and I'm like, all right, we'll have fun. We're out in front of the crowd, but God, you got to sit back here in the dressing room and put up with some of these arrogant jerks and everybody griping and whining. They should be the one doing this and they should be doing that and whining at them. And you don't have that there, and that's rare. So I know you've been around the business long enough that I know you definitely appreciate that and know that that doesn't happen by accident. So kudos for that.
Well, I mean, I don't hear a lot of it. I don't know whether that's out of design because I'm the figurehead or whatever, but I don't really hear a lot of that anyway. So it's awesome to me to hear from somebody else to say we don't have a lot of that bickering and stuff. And I'm sure there probably is to some degree, but for the most part, that our dressing room is very positive, and that makes me feel good because I want it to be. I've always wanted our show to be somewhere where people felt like they had the freedom to get themselves over to some degree. We weren't trying to necessarily give you characters that you didn't like to portray, or there was this freedom there because, number one, and I've said this a couple of times in our production meetings, like, guys, there's only a handful of spots. There really are. And even though there's probably more spots now than there ever been, there's still not that many. And first and foremost, let's have fun. If we're not going to do anything else, let's have fun. Let's do it right. Let's respect the business, as they say. And but let's at the end of the day, let's have some fun.
Everybody works hard and wants the show to be as good as it can be. Like, yeah, there's going to be slip-ups, there's going to be accidents, there's things that's going to happen, but I've never got done at the end of the night and went like, boy, they really phoned it in that match. Boy, those guys weren't really trying. Like, everybody goes out there and really wants to do their best, but like you said, they know it's not like it gets held over their head or anything, but they know there's only so many spots and there's a whole bunch of people. I mean, I can only imagine, dude. I ran those 2 or 3 Twin State shows, just random shows out at Pro South, and my email would just get blown up with people from all over the place. It'd be like people from Washington, hey, I'd like to come do your show. I'm like, what? No, what are you talking about? So I can only imagine with the coverage y'all have now, what your inbox looks like on a week-to-week basis.
I have so many. It's unreal. But a lot of people have figured out that, I mean, of course they can go to me, but at the end of the day, we've got 3 different people that kind of handle that. Yeah. And if there's in our booking team, I guess you'd call it, know kind of what I'm looking for, and they also know what's going to mesh well with our dressing room and the guys that are willing to put in the effort, and they're not indie-rific, I guess, if that's even a word. I know what I mean when I say that.
Yeah.
But they have a look, they have some drive. That you have to have that to be part of our dressing room, or you're not gonna make it there. That's just all there is to it. And if you go out there with some of our crew and try to phone it in, you're not going to last either, because they're going to eat you up and you won't be part of the show long.
Yeah, that's definitely a fair statement. So each year, you said you've been around, EPW's been around 8 years. Each year you guys have leveled up. What are some of the high points of 2025 where in your mind you went, whoa, that's something. That's we just leveled up here with that happening.
Probably the three things that kind of come to mind right off the bat is us working out a television deal with Gray Media to be on the Peachtree Sports Network out of Atlanta, and everything that entails. So that covers 2/3 of Georgia. And then in addition to that, our agreement with Gulf Coast Sports Network, which is huge. It covers Birmingham, Mobile, Pensacola, Destin, Panama, goes all the way down to Panama City, Biloxi, New Orleans, Baton Rouge. You can see everything there on the screen, all that stuff in red, which is huge.
That's incredible.
Yeah. I mean, that's a lot of territory.
So for people watching this with us right now, some people are going to be listening, but if you're watching this, tell people where you start. Like, so when you guys got on TV, where on this map were you covered?
The little blue area in the middle. So Tupelo, Starkville, Columbus, Louisville, Philadelphia. That space there, Hamilton, Alabama. I think Russellville, Alabama is part of that.
Mm-hmm.
Columbus, West Point, Starkville. So the little blue area there, my Mississippi, Saturday mornings at 11 o'clock. That's where we started. Well, actually, we initially started with a different station. We were on at 8:30 on Sunday mornings. And
y'all were on between church services initially.
Yeah, we were on in the middle of two different church services in the very beginning, which was kind of strategic to some degree. I just remember being a kid and my folks turning on church services on Sunday morning, and me being a kid, not caring anything about hearing that guy talk. And I wanted to watch cartoons or something, and then I stumbled upon All American Wrestling on USA Network, and that was right after WrestleMania 5, and I've been watching it ever since. So that was, I guess that was kind of strategic. I thought that we could pick up a younger viewing audience that way and maybe help, drive some ticket sales.
And right there, for a North Mississippi wrestling promotion, that blue area you're looking at is impressive in and of itself. I remember when y'all got that, I was like, whoa, that's covering some ground in and of itself. And then now you start branching out. And I love this map here because it labels the different networks and then the different TV stations and everything. But I mean, my goodness, you think about when you took this thing over, and even when you first put it on TV, did you ever imagine EPW covering an area this size with your television show? That's amazing.
Well, I'm not going to say that I didn't expect it. What I will say is that I had some big goals for EPW of what I wanted EPW to be. And, sometimes if you press toward those goals, even if you don't hit the goals, you hit everything on the way. So,
yeah.
Television was a big part of that. Did I necessarily think we would probably be on that big of a broadcast area? Probably not, but
let me
I'm not surprised. I guess I'll word it that way.
Let me rephrase that, because I don't mean that in a way of did you doubt yourself or the promotion, but I don't know if what knowledge people have of television and networks and how TV works now. But you putting a wrestling show on television in 2025, or go back, a few years ago when you was putting it on then, is a very different look than, say, go back to 2000 and Leslie Jones putting IWF on. And then if you go back further than that, when Jerry Jarrett and guys were making deals to get their TV on in the different areas of their territory, for me, like, as this stuff's come along, I was just like, man, it's hard to get a television show of anything, much less wrestling, in this much coverage without spending out a bunch of money, because that's how it mostly works for most people nowadays, right? Is most of the time it's pay to play for TV shows.
Oh, yeah.
Understanding.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. But and what's crazy is our reach is that's just broadcast. So you have this whole other dimension of it that is digital and streaming, and where, our YouTube channel, obviously, our Roku channel, and then as part of Peachtree Sports Network, Peachtree is actually carried by YouTube TV and by Fubo TV, which are streaming apps in that area, in the Georgia area. So we're actually on their streaming service there as well. A lot of people don't know that.
Yeah.
But you also have this whole other streaming part of it, which is incredible. I feel like sometimes it's a little oversaturated, but I mean, you just kind of have to get in. As my uncle used to say, you have to get in amongst them and show them what you can do.
There you go. It's, hey, that's the funny thing now is like, all right, so this is on YouTube right now, whether people are seeing this on my channel, the EPW channel, wherever they're seeing this. And if you can see this right now, no matter where you're at, you can see EPW Wrestling on streaming online. It's on YouTube. Mm-hmm. It's like that. Then, like you said, but then it's on broadcast TV in all these places too. So, I mean, that makes EPW very a destination for wrestlers, because let's be honest, I mean, yeah, every jackleg promoter in the world can throw his matches up on YouTube, and they're out there. I used to make a show making fun of a lot of those, using their own footage against them. How
did you not get sued? Well, they didn't have enough sense to
sue. These guys wrestling in a thrown together ring didn't have the money to sue me, pal. But, not a lot of promotions have the broadcast coverage that EPW has, short of, guys that are on cable, like your AEWs and your things such as that. So, that even more so has people looking your way, trying to get booked to wrestle here. And that's not just like guys on a local level, but, names and such. And one thing that we talked about earlier in this show when Roman was on that I wanted to point out, and I know I mentioned earlier when you came on, that this year's Crossroads Clash was the biggest one. And so Crossroads Clash, is at the Crossroads Arena. A guy there, so you can make all that come together. But, you guys had all these big names, and I asked Roman, the first thing I asked him was, how did you become a wrestling fan? But the next thing I asked him was, how did you become aware of EPW? He's like, well, I've seen these big names were coming to a show in Corinth, Mississippi, and I was like, whoa, I got to go check that out. He comes to Crossroads Clash to see the APA and the different ones, but then he sees the show, he's like, whoa, these guys can wrestle. This is great. And then he sticks around, and then he becomes a fan, and now he's a correspondent on the show. And that's what Crossroads Clash is all about. That's what, bringing these guys in is all about, because people come to see these names they know, but then they see, Kickflip or Dorian or whoever grabs them, and now they're coming back watching the show every week. And I think that's something that has served you guys really well. I know you've, you used to do like your live shows every week, and you would have people popping in. I'd sit and watch them and not comment or anything. I'd just sit and watch them, and there'd be people from New York and Pennsylvania and all these places. Hey, I discovered EPW because I saw Davey Richards was on, and now I watch every week, which is that's amazing. But, it shows that what you're doing is definitely working, and it's crazy to think that you book a guy from St. Louis who used to be in Ring of Honor, and now someone is a loyal fan of your show because of that one, that booking, which he came multiple times, but you know what I'm saying.
Well, I mean, that's, in a sense, that's fundamentally, that's how, it's always supposed to work. When you brought in names or special guests, you bring them in to try to pull in your casual wrestling fan, and then you have to have a show good enough and talent good enough to hook them to keep them coming back. So I mean, at the core, that's an old school. I mean, that's an old school tactic. It just and it works. It works to this day.
And I'll have people ask me, they'll see somebody that's coming to EPW and they'll go, well, do people in Boonville know who that is? And I go, maybe they do, maybe they don't. And I was like, but at this point, it's not just about who in Boonville is going to know them, because you're drawing eyes to the TV. So now the people in Boonville will know them, and now somebody's going to click on your show because they're in the thumbnail. Hey, I know that guy. Let's see what this is about. And, you're still drawing new fans in, be it into the arena or, getting them online.
Right.
Because, who knows? They may buy T-shirts. And, at some point down the line, I don't know what, you've never talked about this, but I don't know if at some point there's room for like a streaming pay-per-view type scenario someday or something like that. And so at that point, it's important to draw all these people in from the different places, because at that point they don't have to drive to Boonville, but you still can figure out a way to make it
accessible. And we actually, some people remember this, some people don't. We actually tipped our toe. We actually tipped our toe into a little bit of that at Crossroads Clash last year, because Crossroads Clash was actually streamed across our YouTube channel to our EPW premium members.
Oh, okay.
So and that was done as a test run. We didn't advertise it. We didn't do any of that because we really didn't know how it would turn out. Come to find out, outside of some in-house production issues, the feed actually turned out pretty well. So I definitely think that's something that I would like to grow into eventually. I like the OVW model, not necessarily doing a show every week. I don't want to do that ever again, but doing a random live stream show, I think that's definitely a goal. That's something I'd definitely like to do.
Yeah, I definitely feel like that would be the next logical step, and the progression of things. So, you kind of talked about the big, tentpole moments of 25 that was big for EPW. And I know there's a lot of things you can't talk about, and there's the ink still drying on different things. But do you feel like 2026 can be an even bigger year for EPW? And is there anything that you can maybe tell us about, or maybe tease it's
well, I will say this. 26 is our goal is for it to be bigger than 2025. Will we get there? Who knows? But our goal definitely is to do that. Crossroads Clash was kind of an anomaly because, and we could probably do a whole episode or whatever just on that, of just how some of that came together and how some of it just by happenstance, kind of fell into our lap. But with that, we set the bar so high. So it's like, how do you top that? So now we've got to find a way to top it. So anyway, so we're actually in the process of working on Crossroads Clash for this year, which will actually be Saturday, April the 11th. We're working on it as we speak. Another one of our big high points, I don't think I mentioned this earlier, was our Fury in the 5th show, which had about 800 people at a building. Was you wasn't at that show, was you?
I wasn't.
Yeah,
No, I
you will
wasn't.
be this year. So literally, Fury in the Fifth, without going to a huge backstory on this thing, is a show put on by a couple of EPW super fans in the Corinth area. And it is in a old gym that was built in the 50s that is literally out in the middle of nowhere. I mean, in the middle of nowhere. The biggest problem we had with that show was trying to get people there, like our talent, like Scott Steiner and some of those guys that were actually trying to drive in. It was a pain trying to get them there.
Yeah.
But we turned this old 1950s gym into a pretty cool venue between our production, our video wall, and all that, the lighting and all that kind of stuff. So, and then we had Scott Steiner, we had Tom Latimer, we had Camille the day after the Queen of the Ring premiere.
Wow.
Like literally, she had just flown in from Los Angeles the night before. They were doing a red carpet for Queen of the Ring in LA, and we flew her to Memphis. Flew her into Memphis and then on to outskirts of Corinth. Downtown Bruno, Big Ben Bishop. Yeah, undisclosed location. So we're fixing to make some pretty big announcements over that. Maybe talent that has never been to this area, really. And I'm super excited about that. Matter of fact, we're probably going to announce that pretty soon. But, well, we've got to. But we're probably going to announce that maybe even as early as tomorrow as we're filming this, however.
Yes.
But, man, that show's going to be big this year. That show's definitely going to be big. So we've still got to figure out how to even top. So we got to top Fury with the Clash, and then we got to top the Clash from last year. So how do we do that? So that's what we're currently working on. I will say that this year our touring and our live event territory is we're looking to expand that quite a bit. We're actually looking to do a show on the coast this year. So we actually have some data that shows that we have a following on in the Biloxi, Pascagoula area, and looks like we may end up doing a live show there. We did a live show in Birmingham last year, the first time EPW has ever done a show in Alabama, which was hugely successful. So we're looking to definitely broaden our live event business this year.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is when you've got this kind of a footprint, TV-wise, it starts opening some doors to potential, live events in new areas. So, yeah, I'm excited to see where all that takes us in the coming year. But, yeah, folks, I know we can't talk about it here, but I've heard some of the rumored names and things that's being worked on, and when he says it's going to be even bigger, he's not kidding. It's very exciting. I'm looking forward to this year's Fury in the Fifth and the next Crossroads Clash. I know a lot of you thinking, well, you can't top last year. Oh, they're working on it. Let me just say that they're working on it. If they don't, it ain't going to be because they didn't try. That's for sure. So
I guarantee you, it won't be less than. I can promise you that.
No, definitely not, because everybody left out of there. I was up at the front, as people were coming out of the show, and everybody had a great time and was just like, oh, everybody just went on and on about it. So,
awesome.
And that's what you want. And like saying, to hear people like Roman and others I've talked to, even there in Boonville, it's like, yeah, I came to the Clash last year, and now I've been watching every week and coming down here whenever I can. So that's what you want. So, yeah, as you're listening to this will be out a couple of days after we record it. Check out episode 226 to see Chris Styles and Cody James taking on the Country Gentlemen, the Kazana Boys. They've been coming to EPW quite a bit in recent times, man.
I love those
almost
guys.
Regulars. Yeah, they're a lot of fun.
Yeah, I love those guys. They are they're a hoot to be around, and they're extremely talented folks, and they're perfect people to represent the NWA as it stands today. and we've had a big influence of NWA folks at our show.
Sure have. Y'all keep watching here in the coming weeks. You're going to see the problem. Aaron Roberts challenging for the NWA World Heavyweight title against the Thrillbilly Silas Mason. And boy, what a match that was. My buddy Carmen from over here in Alabama got to sit in and call that match with us, and he was very impressed with EPW. He's hoping he gets to come back. I know he got to be a part of the show over here in Birmingham and had a great time, and he's one of the many people that went that told me about it. And so 60 miles from my house, and I wasn't able to be there. That sucked, but circumstances as they were, I couldn't make it. But yeah, I'm sure y'all will be back again with, like I say, the turnout, and as happy as everybody was with it. So.
Oh yeah, we'll be back. Matter of fact, we're slated right now to be back in Alabaster, which is just south of Birmingham, the weekend after the Clash. So we'll actually be back April 18th. That's the date right now that's floating around for it.
Hey, mark it down.
Yeah, there you go. So. I tell you, I really want to drop something on. We're talking about Fury in the 5th. I'm really wanting to just kind of drop something here.
All right, let's do it. Here's exclusive.
So yeah,
Inside EPW exclusive.
So well, it may be out by the time we post this, but I mean, it's new information as we speak. But the legendary member of the Four Horsemen, the Enforcer AA, Arn Anderson, is going to be at Fury in the 5th this year, and it looks like Brock Anderson is going to be with him as well. So that's just one of the or two of the names that are going to be at Fury in the 5th this year. So I'm super stoked about this. Like, I don't fanboy for much just because of my job, and I've been around a lot of people. But, man, Arn was always one of my favorites, and he's going to be at Fury in the 5th this year. It's going to be exciting.
There you go, folks. Make your plans to be in Union Center. It's a hard building to find, but I promise you can do it. We'll get you there to meet, because AA is going to be there. You should be there too. And Brock is coming along.
You know what the best part is? It's free. It's free admission. Fury in the 5th is free.
What are we doing, folks? Arn, I mean, and Arn's just one of the names. I know there's more coming. You heard last year's lineup, so it's not going to be just them. But come on, if nobody else was there, if it was just Arn Anderson sitting in the middle of a building for free in Union Center, you got to come out for that, right? I mean, I'm going to put this out here right now. If not during Brock's match, during someone's match, Arn Anderson needs to sit in on commentary. Just saying. Why would you have Arn Anderson there and not let him sit in on commentary for at least one match? You know?
Duly noted.
All right. I would have kicked myself whenever we ended the show. Like, oh, why didn't you suggest that? So there you go.
There we go.
Well, all right, folks. There it is. You got the exclusive. I want to try to get this out on Sunday is the plan. So this may get out around the same time it gets announced. But thanks for putting that out here on Inside EPW, and thanks for spending some time with us, Neil, and kind of talking about everything that's gone on in the last year or so, kind of what's coming up in 2026. And you're going to be a regular here on the show. I'm going to have you sitting in. We're going to watch some matches. And speaking of the big event, Fury in the 5th too, next week on the show, I'm going to have you back, and we're going to watch a match from that event. And over the course of the next couple of shows, we're going to watch a couple of matches from that event. It was a great setup. It looked awesome on TV. And so there was a big title change that happened. I mean, it was a year ago. I won't exactly be spoiling it, but I'm not going to mention it here for those that maybe haven't seen it. Some of the newer fans that haven't seen it. But we may start with that one because, boy, that was a doozy, as they say. So make sure you join us next time for that. Neil, appreciate it, man. I know you're busy, so we'll let you get back to it.
Man, yeah, thank you. Man, check this thing out. We may drop a nugget here every once in a while.
We're going to do our best.
Why not?